welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Amanda and today I want to talk about the pros and cons of menstrual cups. I switched from tampons to menstrual cups for the past couple of periods now, and I want to just share the pros and cons of menstrual cups because I feel like I didn't really know a lot about them before, so here's what I know. Sorry, I totally forgot to cover this, that's why the lighting is so different, but a menstrual cup basically is something that goes up into your vagina and it kind of catches all the blood as it flows down. So it like blocks the vagina canal and collects all the blood in there, and then you like take it out and dump it and then reinsert it. So it catches pretty much all the blood. So anyway, back to the video. Let's start off with the pros. So the first pro and the biggest thing I feel like is that it's more eco-friendly. You're using something that is way less waste, and you're not using single-use disposable feminine products or tampons. These are also reusable for up to 10 years, so that means you could be using the same cup for up to 10 years. Just imagine how many tampons you could be saving with that. Another pro is that there are less changes throughout the day. As you know, tampons you have to change every 8 hours at the minimum. However, for menstrual cups, you can go up to 12 hours without emptying it out. So really, I'm just emptying it out 2 times a day, and other than that, I'm pretty much set and don't have to worry about it throughout the day. The menstrual cup that I have holds about 2 to 3 tampons worth of fluid, so it really depends on your flow, but for me, I really just have to change it twice a day. It also requires less trips to the store and less worrying about whether I'm gonna run out of tampons or if I have enough tampons to bring with me on a trip, etc. I really don't have to worry about it unless like the cup gets worn out. But I hope that I can go a few years at least without replacing it, so that's a huge plus. I don't have to worry about that. It's also more cost efficient over the long run. So my menstrual cup, the one that I got, is the salt cup, and I only spent $27 and that included shipping, which isn't too bad. It's obviously more expensive upfront, $27, but over the long run, if this only lasts maybe a year, then maybe the cost evens out to tampons for me because I don't use too many tampons and my flow is regular / kind of light. Say if you use a lot more tampons, your flow is heavier, or the cup lasts 3 years or more, then you're talking about you're only spending like $9 or less per year on a menstrual cup, which is like unheard of. So that's amazing. It's really more cost effective the longer that you use the cup. So if it lasts 10 years, that's like under $3 per year. Another pro is that there are no toxic chemicals like there are in tampons. I had no idea what types of things were in tampons. I'm so glad the menstrual cup doesn't have that. It's made out of 100% medical grade silicone, so I don't have to worry about it. It's BPA, latex, and chemical free, as well as cruelty free and vegan. It also doesn't absorb all the natural vagina fluids that are in there. I just didn't really think about that and how the tampon does absorb whatever's in there, including natural fluids. So that's something to keep in mind if that bothers you, especially if you're using tampons like closer to like the end of the cycle where it's like not that much blood. You're probably absorbing a lot more of your natural fluids instead. So with the menstrual cup, you don't have to worry about that. It kind of leaves your natural fluids intact. Sorry, I had to adjust the lighting because the sun is setting, so please bear with me. Another great thing about menstrual cups is that it can handle any period flow, which means you could also prevent that initial leak at the beginning of your period, you know, when you're trying to figure out when it's starting and then you get the leak and it's like, oh, it started, yeah, great. So basically you can use the menstrual cup, you can put it in before your period starts, but when you feel like it's coming or when you know, your period apps say that it's about to start, you can put it up in there, and even if your period doesn't start, it doesn't affect your vagina area. Like, it does nothing, it won't absorb anything in there, it just appears empty. So it's totally fine to leave it in there when your period is ending, when your flow is lighter, and also you can catch that initial period leak, and so your pants are not affected by any sudden blood. You can also use it on your lighter days and your heavier days, so you don't have to worry about changing the different tampon sizes or whatever. Like, you just use the same cup no matter what your flow is. And maybe that means you'll need to empty it a little bit more frequently for your heavier flow days or something like that, but you really just stick with the same thing the whole time. Also, another big thing is there is no string attached. So, you know, if you use tampons, there's that string and you have to move it to the side so that you could do your business. And if you forget to move it to the side, then pee or something worse could get all over it and it's just a freaking mess. There is no worrying about that anymore, which is great. And finally, it isn't as comfortable as tampons. I don't really notice it once it's inside, and it just feels the same. Like I don't really notice a difference. There's just also no string to bother me there, so that's a plus. Now moving on to the cons. It is definitely messier, I'm not gonna lie. You get really comfortable with your body, you are sticking your fingers all up in there and you get really comfortable with that area. If you freak out at the thought of, like, you know, putting your hands up in there, then this might not be for you, so just saying. It's also messy in the fact that you have to deal with all the blood that it catches or that goes into the cup that is collected. If you don't really like the sight of blood, I don't know if you'd like it. Yeah, so it definitely is messy. So for tampons, I like barely ever leaked unless I forgot to change it when it was like overflowing. But for menstrual cups, I feel like I've heard at the beginning when you start getting used to using it, you could potentially leak or spot. So that's what I'm experiencing now. I don't know if that'll change in the future, but I've only been using it for the past couple months. And so I do spot or leak a little bit here and there. So there's that, just, you know, in case you decide to go swimming or something with it at the beginning. There's also a huge learning curve to using it. Getting used to inserting it and removing it is something that you have to get used to and learn. I definitely struggled at the beginning, but I've used it for 3 periods now and I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of it. So I feel like the more you do it, the easier it gets. So it's just something you have to keep at and not give up. The next con is that there's a lot of cleaning and maintenance that goes into it. I basically have a routine at this point, and I think everyone who has a menstrual cup has their own routine. Basically, like, remove it, dump the blood, rinse it out, clean it, and then reinsert it back in. So that means, you know, going from the toilet to the sink, back to the toilet, or maybe you do it in the shower. You also have to sanitize it or boil it between cycles or after your cycle is done, just to make sure that it's sanitized and clean for the next time that you use it. So there is a lot of maintenance that tampons and pads don't really have, but that's the cost of saving the environment and of, you know, less changing throughout the day. I also want to point out that it might not work well for people who have IUDs as birth control. I don't currently have one, so I can't speak to this, but I've seen or read people have issues with it. So because they kind of are going around the same area, there's a potential for, like, the cup to suction out, like, the IUD, or, you know, move it in certain ways. So I would definitely check with your doctor or, like, read up about it if you do have the IUD. Also, another con is that sizing can be tricky for some people. It wasn't tricky for me. I have been lucky where I chose the smallest cup and it works for me, and it works totally fine. But maybe for people who have had a baby before or have, like, a high cervix or low cervix, it might be a little bit trickier to find the right size and the cup that works the best with your body. So I feel like that is something that other people have complained about, but I personally haven't had that issue, but I just wanted to point that out as something that you could potentially run into. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video and hearing the pros and cons of menstrual cups. Let me know in the comments down below if I missed anything that you are aware of. Also, let me know if you want me to do a video about, like, my first time using the menstrual cup or my experience in general, how it's been using it. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more videos like this. I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!